Hi everyone, I am Sreekanth. We are discussing programming in C language. The topic is about basics of C programming language. The agenda of the session is about constants in C language. How to define, what are the different ways to define constants in C language with suitable examples. What is a constant? A constants are the fixed values that never change during the execution of a program. A constant is an explicit data value written by the programmer. Thus, its value known to the compiler at compiling time itself. The values are what? Fixed. That values are known at compilation time itself. Those values cannot be changed at a runtime. Those are all called constants. Examples, several constant examples like decimal constants we discussed in the previous video sessions. Decimal constants are defined like normal numbers, base 10 systems like 10, 20, 450 and so on. Real or floating point constants are represented with 10.3, 20.2 so on, etc. Octal constants are represented stars with the number with 0, 2, and 0, 3, 3, 0, 4, 6 so on, etc. Hexadecimal constants are represented stars a number with a constant like 0x 0x like that. Okay, character constants are enclosed with what? Single quotes in C language like a, b, x and so on. String constants are represented with enclosed with double quotes, like either single character or group of characters are not enclosed with the double quotes are called string constants. These are all the various decimal constants, real or floating point constants, octal constants, hexadecimal constants, character constants, string constants. Already we discussed in the previous video session with the suitable examples. What are the two different ways to define constants in C programming? Using a const keyword. Another one is hash define preprocessor. There are two different ways to define constants in C programming using const keyword. Another one is hash define preprocessor. In this session, we try to discuss in detail about const keyword. The const keyword is used to define constant in C programming. Const is a type qualifier. Value of constant is fixed. Const keyword applied to a data type that indicates that the data is read only. It can be used to declare constant. Here const is a keyword. In the previous video session, in the initial sessions, we discussed in detail 32 keywords in C language. Kindly check it out. Const is one of the keyword. Is used to define constants in a C language. Syntax: const, data type, constant name, constant value. So once we declared const to the particular data type, that value become what? Constant value. These values are fixed. We cannot change it. We cannot alter it. Example: const is a keyword, data type is float, constant name or variable name pi equals to constant value is 3.14. So once we assign this 3.14 to the constant variable name called pi, this value is fixed. We cannot change, we cannot alter it. These values are fixed at what? Compilation time. Example, we try to discuss one example. You may understood much better understandability about const keyword. So everyone is familiar about dev C++, how to open dev C++, how to write the programs. So I try to discuss const keyword in C language. So first we try to declare hash include header file, stdio.h header file. I start with the main function void main function. So within that, I try to declare one constant here. Okay, before declaring constant, first I go with the normal data type like float. We can define the name of the constant either small case or uppercase, but in C language or in high level programming language, we are representing constants always uppercase only. Easy to differ normal variable to the constant variables. Okay, const like floating type pi equals to, I'm assigning the value 3.14. Okay, now I try to print this value using printf function. Printf value of pi is equals to How to represent floating point format specifier percentile f, comma, what is the name of the variable? Pi. That's it. Save this application. See, we are already saving the application. We discussed several example programs. We must save the application with what? File name dot C programming. Okay, example const example1 dot C language. So I'm saving the application with extension dot C, file name dot C, file name any valid name, const example1 dot C. Save this application. Now compile this application. See, already we're all familiar about how to compile these applications, right? See, shortcut is F9. Okay, in a dev C++. See, there is no errors, there is no errors, there is no warnings. Now you run the application. So go to execute menu, run the application. Our shortcut is F10. So the value of pi is printing, but the value of pi is 3.142 something, but here the value is not constant. We can alter it. So observe, I try to alter. Actual value is 3.14, but I try to modify some value like 6.125, something I modified. Okay, but this pi value cannot be modified because pi is a constant value here, 3.14. But we are not restricted in a programming. For that sake, now we are alter this value. The value is going to be altered. Then how to restrict? These pi value cannot be changed at programming. So observe, the value is going to be modified. I don't want to modify this value. This value should be what? Fixed. Then we are using a keyword called const keyword. So observe, we are using a keyword called const keyword. Now we try to recompile this application and rerun this application. So the value is going to be printing what? 3.14. I try to modify this value. Immediately compiler is going to be raise what? Compile time error. See, what is that error? It is clearly showing that error. What is that error? The error is what? Assignment of read only variable pi. Once we define const keyword for any type with a constant variable with the constant value, that value cannot be altered. That value is used for only read only purpose. We cannot change it, we cannot alter it. So that is the advantage for using what? Const keyword. We can restrict some constant values at programming, say, without modifying, without altering that value. Then we go with the const keyword. We can define const keyword to declare constant values in C programming language. That is advantage for using what? Const keyword. If you try to modify or alter, we may get an error, assignment of read only variable pi. Okay, so this is the advantage for using what? Const keyword. See, also we try to discuss several examples, like we try to modify this constant value. We may get what? Compile time error. Cannot modify a constant object, or error assignment of read only variable pi. See, based on the type of IDE, the compile time error is going to be generate. Simply remember, when we try to modify constant variable, compiler is responsible to throw compile time error, like cannot modify a constant object or value, or assignment of read only variable pi. So this is the errors we may get frequently. We try to discuss some more example about constant keyword. I try to apply this constant keyword with the different types we discussed, right? Say example 2 about const keyword. Const example 2. So again I try to declare hash include stdio.h. We try to apply one by one void main function. So within that, first I try to declare about what? Character data type. See, previously we discussed about what? Float type with the constant value, right? So observe, I try to declare here one variable called const. I can apply char some constant called c1. Okay, I declared in the uppercase. Constant should be declared in a uppercase. Easy to differentiate with the other type of variables in a program. So now I try to print char value is equals to, how to print the character type using a format specifier percentile c. Okay, char value percentile c. I want to print the cursor in the new line, then we use escape sequences called backward slash n, comma output variable is what, c1. C1 is a output variable. Terminate the semicolon. Okay, save this application. Const example2 dot c language. So I'm saving this application with extension const example2 dot c language, file name dot c language. Save this application. Shortcut to compile F9. Okay. Okay, the constant name we declared what, C1, capital C1. Okay, so not with a shortcut. Okay, successfully compile the application, run this application. So it's going to be print char value equals to what, s. I try to modify this character value. Immediately we may get what, compile time error. Example c1 is equals to, I try to modify with the name, with the character instead of s, d. I try to modify. See, observe, immediately we may get what, compile time error. What is the name of the error? Assignment of read only variable c1. Okay, the constant can applicable for what, character types also. Constant can support it to apply the character type in C language. Not only float type, we can apply with the different types. We try to discuss one by one. The constants can be declared for what, characters. It also supports characters in a C language. So next I try to declare what, constant for what, short type, short data type. Okay, here I try to declare C2. You can give any meaningful name. Here I'm giving simple C1 C2 like that, easy to understand. Okay, so I try to modify C2 with the value instead of 10, 100. Okay, so at present I place comment, later we'll change it. So observe, I try to print here which value, short value. Short value, how to represent short type, either you go with the percentile I, percentile D. I'm printing C2. Save this application. How to compile, shortcut is F9. Run, shortcut is F10. See, short value is going to be printing what, 10. Constant can apply for short data type. I try to modify this short value, like short is what, constant type. Now C2 is a constant type of short value. I try to modify C2, immediately we may get what, again compile time error. See, what is that error? Assignment of read only variable C2, because that C2 is a constant of short type. We cannot modify it, we cannot alter it. Just that variable is used for what, read only purpose. Okay, similarly I try to apply this for integral type. Constant is applied for what, integral type. Const the type int c3, assigning some value 10. We can assign any kind of decimal point value, decimal values, right? See, here I try to modify something c3 int value is equals to, how to represent integral data type, percentile d. What is the name of the constant? C3. Constant variable name is C3. Okay, compile this application and run this application. So we get int value equals to how much, 10. I try to modify this integral value again, C3 equals to 100. So immediately we may get what, compile time error. What is the error here? Assignment of read only variable C3. Assignment of read only variable C3. Same, it clearly telling that C3 is a constant type variable. We cannot alter it, we cannot modify it, we cannot reassign it. That is used for only read only purpose. Okay, similarly I go with the next type. See, here we discussed about character type, short type, int type. See, now I try to apply constant for what, long data type. Okay, so apply constant for what, long type. Const, what is the type, long type. What is the name of the constant? Assume C4. Okay, assigning some value called 10. You can assign any value. Here I taken simple example value 10. Long value equals to how to represent long type percentile LD. What is the format specifier in C language to represent long data type percentile LD? What is the constant variable name? C4. Save this application. Compile this application. What is the shortcut? F9. Successfully compiled. To run the application, F10. Long value equals to how much? It prints what? 10. It is going to be printed. I try to modify again long value. Then immediately we may get what? Compile time error. What is that error? Assignment of read only variable C4. Constant can apply long type also, but I try to modify, we may get what? Compile time error. These values are fixed at compilation time. Okay, similarly, just only we discussed about float type, right? So once again I am declaring all the types here. Const float type. Float, the name of the constant is C5, like 10.25. okay, I modified here some value. Float value, constant value, float value. How to represent float value? How to represent float values are represented using format specifier percentile F. Okay, save this application. Compile this application. Is successfully compiled. Try to run this application. The value is executed. Float constant value is executed 10.25 and so on. Okay, I try to modify this value C5. C5 is what type? Constant variable of float type. I try to modify. Immediately you may get what? Compile time error. What is that error? Assignment of read only variable C5. So in this way we can restrict some constants cannot to be modified at source programming. Constants cannot to be changed. How to restrict? We can use const keyword. Once we applied const for all these types, that going to be used only for what? Read only purpose. We cannot modify it, we cannot alter it, or we cannot change that value. Reinitializing that value not possible. So I try to apply constant for what? Double type. Here the values can be applied any meaningful. Just I am giving a sample example how to apply constants for all the types in C programming language. Okay, const double C6. The value I try to apply same 10.25 only. Here I am printing what? Double value. Say how to print the double value. What is the format specifier? Percentile LF. What is the variable name? Constant variable name C6. Save this application. Recompile this application. Rerun this application. So we got it. Double value. Double value is a constant value. It is we declared in a program. I try to modify this value. Then we may get compile time error again, because constants values cannot be modified. The assignment of read only variable C6, we are getting what? Compile time error. We cannot modify what? Constant value of double type. Constants are supported to declare what? Double type also, but we are getting what? Compile time error when we change or modify or reinitializing the double value, constant value, we may get what? Compile time error. Similarly, I try to declare what? String type. So we discussed in C language, strings are not supported directly using a string keyword. There is no string keyword. Then how to declare, how to print collection of characters, group of characters? We are using a concept called character array. So here I try to declare I want to print strings. We can achieve in C language with the help of what? Character array topic. So this is called array bracket. So within that I try to declare here value. We can mention the specific size, or directly we can declare what? Name or collection of characters or group of characters. SreekanthDeva I am printing. Okay, so I am going to be initialize the values what? SreekanthDeva with the double quotes. Okay, so this is the way we can define what? Constant apply for what? Character array type or string type. So simply I am printing what? Like name is equals to, I'm printing what? Name equals to. How to print the strings with the help of what? Format specifier percentile S. What is the name of the constant? C7. So we can apply constants for what? String type. Save this application, run this application. See, constant not only applicable for float data type, constant is supported for the different types of C programming language like character type, short type, int type, long type, float type, double type, and character array type. See, the main advantage for using const keyword, I want to restrict the values for only read only purpose. That value cannot to be changed. The value cannot to be altered. The value cannot to be modified in program. Then we need to use a keyword called const. Once we apply const to the any data type, that value variables are become what? Constant. The value is going to be fixed at compilation time. The value cannot be altered. So this is the advantage for using what? Constants in a C language. We can define constants in two different ways, but we discussed in this session using what? Const keyword. See, this is about const keyword is used to define constants in C programming. Const is a type qualifier. The value of constant is what? Fixed. We cannot modify, we cannot alter, we cannot change. I try to reinitialize or alter that constant value. Compiler is responsible to throw compile time error. See, const keyword applied to a data type that indicates that the data is for read only purpose. The data type value is you used only for what? Read only purpose. It can be used to declare what? Constant using a const keyword. This is a syntax. Const data type constant name equals to constant value. Example like const float pi equals to 3.14. See, I discussed two different examples how to define a real-time constants with example. I try to modify, you may get error. And const keyword can apply with what? Different data types, what we discussed in the C programming language. See, that's it for today's session. We had discussed in detail about what? Const keyword. What is const keyword? How to declare and define, initialize const keyword in C programming, and how to restrict the value alteration, the constant value alteration in C programming. If you try to alter the C constant type variable value, the compiler is responsible to throw what? Compile time error. Once we declared any data type variable name as a const keyword, that variable data type become what? Constant value. That values are what? Fixed at a compilation time. That values are used for only read only purpose. Cannot to be altered, cannot to be modified, cannot change it. Okay, thank you for watching my videos. Thank you all.